Welcome to Hello Port Hueneme. I'm your host Tom Dunn, and with us today is George Miller, who is the publisher of CitizensJournal.us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Tom.
What is Citizens Journal? You
Well,
formed
Citizen Journal is an online newspaper. It's focused on Ventura County. That doesn't mean we write only about Ventura County. We'll write about things that happen outside that we think might have an impact or be of interest to people in Ventura County as well. So it's a combination of local news that's gathered by us and sometimes third parties. And then we have agreements with some other publications such as Washington Times or National News, since we haven't yet established a Washington D.C. bureau. That comes later. So we have to make do with some very sparse resources to get the job done.
There's only one newspaper in most areas now.
This is true, and that's economics that did that.
Okay, and is that why, since there is one view or one strong view by the current paper, that you decided there needed to be more?
There are actually 4 papers in Ventura County right now. The largest one, the daily newspaper, is the Ventura County Star. That's a typical mainstream media paper with kind of a left bias, to put it mildly. Then we have the Ventura County Reporter, which is a handout on newsstands, which makes the Star look right-wing in comparison. And then we have La Vida, which is a Spanish language newspaper. And both La Vida and the Ventura County Reporter have about 40,000 circulation each. And then in East County, we have the Acorn, which is extremely successful.
Camarillo, right?
Well, it's Camarillo, Westlake, Thousand Oaks, basically East Ventura County. It hasn't come out here yet, but it might. And that's basically an advertising sheet. It's given out free and supports itself strictly from advertising with no subscription. So we said, well, how do we fit into the mix? Well, we would like to basically be an answer to the Star. That was our proximate cause for starting it, to say, well, there is another world out there. But we didn't want to make it a Republican paper. We want to say, how about other? How about a people's paper? Say, well, what does the average person want? Right? And not everyone wants the same thing. But we try to look at a citizen's viewpoint in doing it to the extent that that's possible. So we'll take on all comers. Almost anyone that wants to write something that people are willing to read that's not illegal or unreadable, we will print. And we get stuff sent in from all over the place, and then we solicit things as well.
What has been the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome, and you've been in business now how long?
3 years in June.
3 years, okay.
Yeah. Biggest obstacle is just getting people to do the work. Because we're a volunteer organization, and we try to recruit some really good people, and when it comes right down to it, they either can't afford to work for free or they won't work for free. I've worked for free for 3 years, and I was making well into 6 figures before I retired, so they're getting a pretty good deal. And our editor, Deborah Tash, is quite well to do actually, that she spends her time and basically works full-time in addition to a full-time job she has running a family business. So we have people that are donating a lot of time, and basically that's worth money. We support ourselves strictly on donations and advertising. About 80% of our revenue comes from donations, about 20% from ads. And we've been trying to recruit an advertising manager. If anyone watching this wants a 20% commission, which is double the industry standard, please go on CitizensJournal.us, find me, or write to publisher at CitizensJournal.us, and we'd be happy to talk to you.
One of the reasons that I wanted to have you on the show was, for example, with the Star, Port Hueneme gets very little coverage. Something major happens. And one of the reasons we started Hello Port Hueneme was to give the people here, the residents, an outlook where they could get information about all kinds of things in Port Hueneme. I noticed on Citizens Journal, you have your headline stories, but then at the top, there's a bar, and there's different cities. And you can click on Port Hueneme and all the stories that have occurred about Port Hueneme for, what, a year or 6 months, something like that. They're all chronologically in there, and you can read and catch up on what's going on.
I just wish we had more. We don't have a Port Hueneme reporter. I'm it part-time right now, and I thank you guys for the stories you've submitted. That's probably the best material that we get, and we hope we can continue the partnership. We're willing to expose your stuff, which helps us too. So we'd like to continue that.
Yeah, it serves a great purpose to expand your horizons.
Yeah.
And what we hope to do on Hello Port Hueneme is invite people from the Port Hueneme level all the way up through the county and the state level to submit their statements of why they're running and or have them in for, and we have feelers out about that so that people will be able to see them and listen to them and get as much information as they can.
Well, fine. We have some candidate statements already. You're welcome to take those and reprint them. Just give us credit
Thank
for
you.
them, and hopefully we can reciprocate on that.
All right. One last question. Where is Citizens Journal's goal? What are you looking to do in the future that it's going to expand?
Well, we would like to get to about 30,000 readers, and to do that, we have to have better coverage in some areas we don't have reporters right now. For example, we do not have a reporter in Ventura or Thousand Oaks. Those are very large markets that we're not exploiting to the extent that we could. We want to spend more money on advertising, and we also want to have more paid screeners as well, paying people. Because sometimes we pay people for specialized articles right now. They're the same people that write for the other publications, by the way. So we'd like to raise enough money where we could get more visibility. We don't have any plans to go to a hard copy newspaper. We actually, our first issue was hard copy, and we determined it would just be too expensive to ramp up to that level. And we actually charged for subscriptions when we started, $50 a month. And I don't want to tell you how many we sold, it wasn't very many. And by taking away the price, it just took away a major constraint to expansion. But we have some very generous donors. We just got a $1,000 donation last week from one person, which is the largest donation we've had. Had a couple in the 500 to 750 range. But unfortunately, it's a fairly small number of people that actually support the newspaper right now.
Well, I hope the support grows on Hello Port Hueneme. Every time I read something that is pertinent to here, I will put it out so
Great.
people
Thank you
will
very
go
much.
to it. And electronic news is where it's at. Print is dying. You look at the classified ads and there's nothing there anymore because they can reach so many more people on.
And they can get it better. Craigslist is way better than
Yeah.
the classified section than most newspapers.
All right, George, thanks for coming
Thank
by.
you very much for having me out.
Appreciate it. We'll put up the address where people can get in touch with you. And we look forward to seeing you on our next Hello Port Hueneme. Goodbye.
Thank you.